I just realized I'm wearing my around the world glasses as opposed to my I can see on my computer glasses. I'm of an age. What can I say? So hey, good afternoon. I almost said good morning, but I caught myself. I caught myself because it's not the morning. Well, it may be the morning where you are. Um, ooh, that'd be interesting. We're here. I said I was going to be here. Yay, Becky Ridgway. Thank you so much for letting me know that you're here and that you can see and hear me. Now I don't have to be asking about that. So I wicked appreciate it. There we go. Cheryl with an S and Christine with her little heart and umbrella. I need the umbrella today, actually, because I often start with the weather. But yeah, it's crazy. We went from like 90s and hundreds and humidity to now I'm not even kidding. It's like in the mid to low 60s and raining out. I am so glad I didn't put away my socks and my long sleeve shirts all the way when I was transitioning my clothing from spring to summer. So yes, good morning, folks. Good morning. Stuff's going to happen. Weather's going to happen. We can notice it. We can let it affect us. But to the amount that we let it affect us, well, that's into us. Pardon me. Crazy weather. I know. There we go. Leslie M is saying hi, y'all, as an homage to Carla Jane. Now, if any of you have been to, I think most of you have been on a decluttering party. That's when you actually get the full Carla Jane experience with her lovely Alabamian accent. So fun. So fun. Pardon me, I just want to plug in my phone. I'm not disappearing, so let people know. We have a decluttering party coming up tomorrow, and we have a decluttering party coming up on Monday. After that, I will be honest with you. I like to be. Honesty is just so much easier. Maybe I'm lazy, but lying takes too much effort. So I have not 100% scheduled the TikTok lives, the YouTube lives, the decluttering parties for July. I have a rough idea of what they are, at least for the next week. Well, as if on cue. I love it. I love it. Carla, you just missed Leslie said, hi, y'all, as an homage to Carla Jane. Yeah. Sunday is going to be my big work day. Now, this is kind of a fun thing. Yeah. Leslie says, looking forward to tomorrow's party, treating this live like a pregame. All right, we're going to pregame. So just real quick, the schedule will be up next week as far as stuff goes. And I will send out an email to remind you to look at the page. Okay. So there we go. So yeah, so tomorrow's decluttering party. What am I even calling it? Declutter party, I guess. Yeah, picking what you want to work on. And here's something that I have said. I know I mentioned this to some other people on the previous declutter parties. There is decluttering that you can easily do on your own. What I like to call putter and declutter, the surface area, the things that you do not find kind of threatening, that just kind of like, yeah, no big deal. I love it. Here's what I want you to think of. When you do a decluttering party, you are paying for the ability to ask questions when you're stuck. You are there to get support when you might want to hear somebody else's ideas of what to do with something. So what I say is, if we're going to pregame for tomorrow's party, what I say is figure out some things that you alone are struggling and kind of don't know what to do with. And then maybe even like start to make a pile. You know, we were calling it earlier today. Yeah. And Judy Duke says, yeah, help a lot with that. That's what the party is for. That's why you're paying for it. You're paying for help. It's nothing wrong with that. Earlier today on the TikTok, we were talking about that. And instead of feeling like I'm going to tackle my clutter, you know, because I'm not a footballer, right? Think of playing dress up and show and tell. What do I do with this? My dad gave it to me, but I don't really like it, right? Um, Here, even just having seriously, even just having an audience to tell a story about something allows you to get that thought of a story out of you and into the ether. And sometimes that can be just enough for you to say, yeah, I got this on vacation, but I don't really like it anymore, you know? So I just offer to you, there is some good stuff that happens on these declutter parties. So what's that phrase? I don't know, like make the most of your money, like get your money's worth. Show up with not everything, but a handful of items that you would like some help with. Okay. Judy is saying that, yes, you help a lot with suggestions when I'm stuck. That's what that's what it is. And in a way, depending upon how many people show up for the parties. Now, the neat thing is that the ones in June have been a nice small crew so we can get deeper on things. So use this time to your advantage. There may be a time where the decluttering parties have 10, 15, 20. There can be an exponential amount of people on the decluttering parties while they're cool and small, much like the people, you guys, AKA, who show up here on the YouTube lives. A smaller amount of people means you can go deeper and have more interesting, more in-depth conversations with yourself and with other people. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. No, Leslie says so true. I got rid of some of my mom's stuff, including an adorable hat she wore during the last party. It felt good after I talked about it. So let me ask you this, Leslie. I remember that hat because it had like the little bow on it and stuff like that. How are you feeling now about having given away your mom's hat? Are you still feeling good about making that decision that you don't have it anymore? I hope so. I hope the answer is yes. But if it isn't, we can talk about it. No, I love it. Carla Jane says, I love it. Even better, before we get into Carla Jane, Leslie says, I've never looked back. This thing that she'd been struggling with, as soon as she decided to donate it, she's almost forgotten she had it. So notice that there may be something you are struggling with that 9:30 tomorrow Eastern time in the morning, you could feel better instead of feeling bad about this thing. Yes, and then there was, seriously, this is the great thing about live and not just me being on the camera. There was my cat's butt on camera for comic relief, and your cat's butt on camera was well timed because we were talking about external backseat drivers, and sometimes you just want to give those backseat drivers the cat butt, right? Now I love this because we get stuff done, people, but we have fun while we're doing it. Carla Jane says, I'm going to have to play like Suzanne Sugarbaker and drape some of it over me like I have the vapors since I can't squeeze into it, right? Yes, you may not be able to fit into some of your clothes, but you may be pleasantly surprised. Maybe they aren't as tight as you're afraid they're going to be. I've been afraid of my clothes before. I'm not going to lie. There is a crucial point on my human body when I am putting something on over my head or stepping into something and pulling it up. I believe it's called my hips. If it doesn't easily go over that little place right there, you know, it's going to be interesting. Sometimes, depending on the cut of a dress, though, I can be like, oh God, oh gosh, oh gosh. And it's like, phew, we made it. And then the way the skirt goes, it allows me some room there. So don't be afraid of your clothing. If you're afraid, we're here to walk you through it, kind of like Scooby Doo going through the haunted mansion. The case of the scary closet, as a Nancy Drew might be called. So, this is just one of the ways that I think it's fun to help you get some stuff done that seems more daunting than doing it by yourself. We can always find excuses for things, right? Oh, there we go. Now, Judy Dukes is saying, at one of the parties, I showed an auto harp that was my grandma's that I was finally giving away, and she found a music teacher who wanted it. Yay. Yay. Now, sometimes you will find those people who want that specific thing. So it cannot hurt to put it out there to people you think may be interested in things. Other times you may not, but don't let that stop you. Just because you don't know the specific person who will be the recipient of your generosity, your abundance and generosity, doesn't mean that you're not abundant or generous. Trust that and use this phrase: I choose to believe that when I donate this thing here, it's going to connect up with somebody who's going to love it. Because I myself has experienced that when I have gone thrifting or antiquing or trash picking or garage sailing. I have been delighted at things that other people were just done with. So have some fun and get it done. Okay. Hello, Monica. Yeah. And for those of you, again, we've got, it looks like about 16 people here at the moment and about 5 thumbs ups. If you want to put some thumbs ups there, that's cool. It may get the word out to other people. In case you're just kind of scrolling by on your YouTube, this is live. It is Friday, June 27th, 2025. I'm on the East Coast, so it is 12:12. This is interesting to me. I have in the last 24 hours randomly looked at my clock when it said 12:12. It was 12:12 yesterday. And then last night, I woke up and I checked the time and it was 12:12. And right now it's 12:12. What a cool thing. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, I don't know why I stumbled on that. And my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Now, my coaching is really like the formal coaching, which is still very informal, is my paid kind of 10-session package that a number of people sign up for. And I'm always eagerly awaiting new clients. When you feel it's ready, you schedule a consultation. We make sure it's a good fit. We get it done. But I don't sell a lot. I don't like selling. What I want to share with you, though, is more the feeling and the difference it feels when you have somebody on your side, when you have somebody who's looking out for you, who's teaching you something that they know you know is going to help you get your life looking and feeling better, but you just don't know it yet, you know? Oh, that's so cool. So Judy Dukes found a good home for the auto harp, and she says the music teacher wants me to write on an index card about my memories of my grandmother playing it to keep in the case to share with her kids. Human beings share stories. It gives us connection. It gives us context. It helps us make sense of the what the fuckness of whatever's going on in the world. When you feel connected to your grandmother, you feel a certain way. When those kids know the story of somebody's grandmother playing that auto harp, that gives them a connection to the past. Maybe not their specific past, it wasn't their grandma, but it was somebody's grandmother. And who knows, that grandmother could be the age of a great great grandmother to some of the kiddos that we talk about. Sharing your memories and stories is one of the main reasons I think you keep a lot of stuff, isn't it? If it doesn't tell you a story, if you don't know the story behind it, it is a lot easier to let it go. I don't know where this came from. I don't know what it is, whatever. Oh, but wait, now I remember. And suddenly you're pulling it back. It's all up here and in here, your head and your heart, the two major decision makers on every human being. Yeah, fight me on it. I'm a lover, not a fighter, but you know what? I would like to get into a discussion about that. So I say to you, hey, you, what's the story behind this? What's the story attached to this thing? I have attached it. I bought it at Target, could be the story. I bought it at Target and it works really well and I love it, could be a story. I bought it at Target, but I don't shop at Target anymore. So I'm getting rid of all of my Target stuff, whatever it is. And so notice that identifying the story and even just sharing your story with somebody can make it easier for you to do something. You can also share the story by writing it down. You can share the story with yourself. It did make it so much easier to give away. Yes, when we feel safe, when we feel like this thing that I care about is going to a good home, it can feel easier to disconnect from the item. Sometimes you will know the home, and other times you're going to have to trust that it's going to find a good home. But then, you know what? You never know, but you're going to believe that it is. And sometimes you will even forget that you donated the thing. Judy is talking about the auto harp, but Leslie was talking about her mom's hat. She struggled with what to do with it. We played around. She had some fun. Then she said, "It's okay." It's been what, a week? She's like, "I haven't even looked back. I kind of, it's in the rear view mirror. I feel okay about it now. I don't even feel anything except probably a sense of relief from being out of the tension of should I keep it, should I not keep it. Um, she's got a bit more space in her house because she doesn't have that hat shaped space taken up by a hat. It's now empty. And you've got like less chaos and clutter in your head and heart because you had a list of decisions to make. And now that list of decisions that might have been stressing you out, like tension between 2 points, should I stay or should I go? Now that tension is one less thing on the tension o meter. This is why I got to share with you. There we go. Carla says, I like to visualize. It gives it wings and it gives it a happy life. She says, Leslie, I loved that hat, but I just bet it will have a beautiful story to give someone new, giving them new happy. Ooh, I love that. Speaking of new happy, I think that's the name of a book. I've seen the woman, just because you mentioned it, I don't think you would know that. New happy. Um, no, actually, it's funny. It's the name of a Chinese restaurant in Douglasville, Pennsylvania. I will tell you. Okay, there is no, not happy. Oh, you know why? Because I said walk book. Um, yeah, there is a woman that I've seen a number of times on TikTok who I think is really interesting. Her name is Stephanie Harrison, and I don't have her book. Disclaimer: I do not have her book, but I'm going to a bookstore tonight, an independent bookstore to what do you call it, to pick up a book. Maybe I'll order that too. I'm going to write it down. Well, you know what I'll do? I'll take a picture of it right now because I will take this with me. Then the name of the book is called New Happy. New Happy, getting happiness right in a world that's got it wrong. Look her up on TikTok. Maybe she's probably here on YouTube, but she's got some interesting things to say. And a lot of it parallels what we talk about the old model of trying to convince yourself and force yourself to declutter versus feeling your feelings and feeling better and doing it at a pace that is kind of organic in a way that works for you. It's like factory farming versus organic farming. And yet, what we do is scalable and also transferable. Okay. And I love this. Leslie says about the hat that she was struggling to get rid of. She says, I still have the picture of her wearing it and the courage to get rid of more stuff. I love that. I can picture your mom beaming from that picture of her wearing that sun hat on that beach in Rhode Island. And your mom is sending you love, saying, Hun, just get rid of it. Do not drag yourself down. Do not weigh yourself down. Get rid of the stuff and go to the beach. You know, having that picture, the physical picture, but even the picture of the picture in your mind of that person smiling and having fun. Sometimes that's all we have. We don't have a snapshot of somebody except for what's in our mind's eye. And them, you can choose to have them tell you a story. It's okay. I get it now. I didn't see it when I was on the planet as a mere mortal, but now I have transcended my mortality and I see the bigger picture and it all makes sense. And do not weigh yourself down with shit that just doesn't matter. There's stuff that matters in the world. It's kindness, it's helping other people, it's being a good person and doing what you can to make the world a better place for yourself and others. It has very little to do with the stuff you bought at Walmart. Okay. Now I love it. Carla Jane says, I'm going to love my new happy and donate a couple of books in honor of that happy. Notice when you feel happy, you're less attached to things and you're more easily able to donate them and share them. Yep. Some of those books on organization I just had to have that made me touch everything and feel bad. Yeah. This is why I am so freaking clear and transparent. I'm like saran wrap in that way. I'm flexible, but I'm clear. I'm not going to write a book. No, I've seen so many. It's a way of getting information out into the world. It is. And it's a way of allegedly making money and getting your name out there and feeling good about being a published author. I had a coffee. Somebody asked me to have coffee with them to talk about what it was like to write books and publish and all that. It's something I've done, but I will share with you. There are other ways to do things than the old way. There are different ways to record music than they had back in the day. So there are different ways to declutter right now, and you don't have to read it in a book for it to be good help advice type of thing. Okay. There's good stuff in all of them, but I don't want you thinking that buying the book that will then add to your clutter um, is going to help you clutter. It really, it could. It could. Let me back up. It could. But what I say is buy the book, read the book, do what they say in the book. So to me, I just make it easier. I tell you some stuff to do. You don't have to read it. You can just listen, kind of like a podcast. That's how we're learning a lot of stuff right now. Practice some of the suggestions in a book or right here on this YouTube Live. They're all recorded now. It's crazy. There's almost going to be 760 videos before the end of the month. But you know what? We try different things. We think something's going to work for us, and it may. I may buy this book, New Happy, and get it and be like, you know what? It's not really doing it for me. And maybe I will then put it in a little free library. Perhaps it will also, it could change my world, and I will love it, and I will become a fangirl about it, and I will share everything about it, much like I've done with the Jen Sincero books. Who knows? You know? But here's the great thing. Leslie says nothing beats live, and I will agree with you. So let's do that. Instead of me talking to myself as if it were just just like a podcast, like a one-way thing. We are a two-way street right here. And what are you struggling with clutter-wise? Are you doing any decluttering this weekend? What is something I can help you with when we are here live from New York? It's Saturday night, you know? Yeah. Now, this is interesting. Carla Jane says, not going to lie, because she and I coached together. At first, I was kind of shook because there was no cookie cutter deal. No, but you still get a cookie. It was all in my court and all about my decisions and choices I wanted to make. There is no easy fix thing. But you know what? What is easy is a small decision next to a small decision, next to a small decision. And then suddenly that becomes a bigger decision. Now, LO says, I have finances on the brain today. Okay, cool. And thinking of decluttering some investments that have performed very well. And instead of waiting and risking for more, get it working towards retirement travel. LO, what a cool idea. Now, I am not a financial whiz by any means. What I will offer to you is that is a good idea. And notice what you have. You have a destination of retirement travel. And one of the ways that your brain is offering to get there, to have the money to get there, is to declutter some of your investments. Okay. Notice that one of the other reasons you're thinking of decluttering your investments and putting it maybe somewhere safe is you have a fear of risk. I might lose some money. LO and everybody here, I really hope that every single one of us is somewhat financially literate. There's another woman that I see on TikTok now. I think her name is Tori Dunlop. She talks about money. She helped me. I saw something about putting money into a high yield savings account, and I made hundreds of dollars last year on the same amount of money that just would have sat there with like little moths around it in my little modest downtown bank. I say this to you, though, in all love. I do this myself. Have an expert help you with this. Unless you are a financial whiz, at least get the input of somebody whose life revolves around investing and maybe making sure that they don't have a vested interest in where you put your money because their perception could be skewed. I have learned that it's not wrong to ask for help, but don't just ask anybody, ask an expert. So if you have an idea, run it by the pros. I had an idea of what to do down the basement, and the professional was like, actually, no, that won't work because, and he had a professional reason. He saw things that I didn't because I am not an expert. We have had conversations with our finance people since the last election, since the inauguration. And I just looked up as I was about to cough, and it gave me peace of mind. Peace of mind. So if you have finances on the brain today, Elo, maybe one of the actions you can take and write down to get it off of your brain is find an expert. If you have one, great. Call my expert. Call my teammate. We all have growing up takes a village. Creating your own village. Your village probably has a hairdresser and a car mechanic and a plumber and somebody who helps you with your finances and maybe a bookstore. What is the village? Who are the people in your neighborhood? In your neighborhood, in your neighborhood. Oh, who are the people in your neighborhood? They're the people that you meet each day. Don't worry, I won't sing the whole song. I say this to you because consider me the person in your neighborhood that helps you organize and declutter your head, your heart, and your home. If I had a shop, it would probably say that out loud. You know? Okay. So it's funny. She's asking me to scooch over and let me take a picture of your hat box to show my daughter. There we go. Notice I'm trying to. You got it? Okay. If not, you know that stuff's all around. Oh, and if you didn't get one, you can get one for tomorrow. Okay. If you don't know how to do something, if you want to feel good about your decisions, it can't hurt to express your idea in front of somebody who knows what the hell they're talking about so they can give you informed information, informed info, not just random advice from somebody across the street. Okay? There we go. Excellent. Want to tell her story? High five. You're welcome. So I am your village declutter person, but I don't come and do it for you. I'm here to help you. And the neat thing is the way the dynamic that we have so far right here is because I don't need to be in your house to help you. I just need you to share with me one thing that's in your head that's keeping you stuck. And we can go from there. You know? Let me think. Here's I'll just riff on this since there's nothing coming up in the comments. It's fine. Having a plan and being flexible. Don't be rigid. Be flexible like the willow tree, okay? What do I mean? Make a plan, but be ready to change your plan. The thing that makes me think of this, there we go. McDoug's from Tampa's got a pina colada. I've got my hot tea here and my lap blanket, and I wish I put on my socks because we have like torrential rain happening up here in PA. Now, I say to you, declutter-wise and otherwise, make a plan. Plans are just that, but be flexible about it. My plans of being out on the patio and opening up the garage and moving stuff onto the driveway today ain't going to happen because of something out of my control. Now, I could be pissed off and rigidly affixed to my plan and disappointed, or I could be like, okay, no big deal. What else can I do with this time? Okay. So, yeah. Do you have a plan for the weekend? Do you have a plan for the rest of the day? If not, make one. Use this time. Make a plan. I was on a coaching call between the TikTok live and today. That's exactly what we did. Carla and I have done that. Give yourself the time to write down what's ever in your head. Dump out the head. Dump it out of your head of what do we want to do? What do I want to do this weekend? Let me see if I can find it. This might help. This could be really fun, okay? Let me see. Yes, and Carla Jane says just because something has a purpose doesn't mean you have to use it for that purpose. Yes, her wig box. Oh, that wig box. Okay, I see what you're saying. I couldn't remember. Yes, this pink box here that Carla was talking about, I believe originally it was empty when I got it, but originally it probably had a styrofoam head and some groovy 60s wig in it. Okay. Yes, learning how to pivot is the most useful tool, especially on the dance floor, right? That's how you do the hustle is you pivot, but you do it effortlessly and with style, and it works well. Okay, so Judy Duke says, I started my list. So yay, you started. Judy Duke started her lists after the first live of the things I needed to do by rooms. I stopped after 3 rooms. Okay, I'll just ask you, how do you feel about this? Do you feel good about stopping, or did you stop because it started feeling oogie? This is also, I'm coaching by example because this is when you stop and you give yourself some quiet to listen to your answer and formulate it and then share it with yourself. Okay. It started feeling like a lot. Okay. So notice when it starts to feel like a lot. Okay. It started feeling like a lot, but did it feel, did you feel any better having gotten the thoughts of what you want to do in those 3 rooms down onto paper? Does it feel a little bit lighter to know that you have it down on paper? Again, I'm hoping the answer is yes, but you do you. If it's not, let me know. Yes, a little lighter. Who doesn't want to be a little lighter? Okay. But notice that you noticed when it was feeling like a lot and you put it down. But also notice that you have the feeling of feeling lighter. So just because you didn't get all the rooms done, the most important thing, Judy Dukes and everybody, is you started. You started and you did it a different way than before. You didn't make one giant list. You got out your spiral bound notebook or whatever, and you made different categories. Here's a fun thing I will share with you. We were all talking about list making on the TikTok live. Immediately, unbeknownst to her, my client directly after that was like, I want to talk about this whole idea of writing stuff down. And what I realized was, I will share with you, is that there was a way I could have made it clearer for her. So I will share with you too. One of the things I think about is how to better give yeah, there we go. LO says getting things down on paper with my multicolored Bic pen is the best. No lie. Is that one of those ones that you click and it's a different color? Jane Hall had one of those when I was growing up. I had pen envy. Okay. And notice you could categorize things by saying, okay, stuff that goes, personal stuff is black ink and business stuff is blue ink. Yes. Getting things written down and out of your head gives a home for that thing called a thought. That is decluttering. When you have an item in your home, you need to decide where it lives. These are my teaspoons. They live in that drawer that I open and in this little slot where my teaspoons go. Putting things down and getting them out of your hand, getting them out of your head and putting them down can really help. Yeah. I love it. Yay, Carla Jane. So she says, oh my gracious, it's heavy but light. Humans are cool. We can feel like something's a lot and notice it, and we can stop it, but we started, and so we feel lighter. Isn't that interesting? So she says, leaving memories, not stuff, to our families and friends. I just shared your wig box story to my daughter. She and I are both filling up boxes as we listen. How cool is that? Carla Jane, I will offer. I'm blanking on your daughter's name, Christine, I believe. If she has any questions for Beth, feel free to have her come over and type it. Okay, because you and I have been hanging around a lot together, but I love seeing that. Okay, I love hearing that you guys are working together about these things, because some people's relationships with their family are not as, easygoing like that. So yay for working together on this stuff and learning and breaking the generational cycle of collecting too much stuff and being crabby about it. I don't know. So yeah, writing stuff down and getting it out of your head is the precursor to scheduling it on your daily roadmap, on your daily calendar. So I know that your head has in it a list a mile long. It's not really a mile long, but it may feel like it. It weighs you down for fear of forgetting, or oh, I'm remembering that and I forget it. I have so many of my thoughts outsourced to either written down on paper or more likely my Trello thing. Okay? Yeah. I love this. Leslie says, I like the challenge. Notice your brain is saying, I like the challenge for tomorrow to pick something a little deeper. But now I'm doing the surface clutter, the drawer with the water bottles and Tupperware. Oh, hun. Yeah, I did our water bottles a couple of days ago. And my husband was just trying to find something in the cupboard where we have our Tupperware. And he's like, where did that pitcher go? I want to make iced tea. And I was like, it's usually down there. I don't see it. It was there. But I know that that cupboard, the 3 shelves in that cupboard, is kind of a hot mess because I've been very lackadaisical in how I put stuff away. Wendy says, I have been using whiteboards. I put the huge list on one, then break it into smaller boards for a day or week type list. It feels good marking off. Wendy, I love that. And I love what you're doing is you're finding a system that works for you. Now, I am not a whiteboard fan, so I don't use that, but I use a notebook and I use my Trello lists. So finding that's something that works for you. But the neat thing is, seriously, the concept is the same, is you have kind of your menu of the things you want to do, and think of it as a menu. Think of it as a menu. On a menu, it's a lot of information. It's all the stuff they can make you that could be overwhelming. But what do they do on a menu? They chunk it down into categories. Here's your apps. Here's your main courses. Here's your vegetarians. Like I think of a menu from a Chinese food restaurant, Chinese food, as opposed to Chinese food. But I digress. So think of that, Judy. Think of your lists as just it's the menu, but it's also the recipe for success, because you are telling yourself, if I do this thing, I believe it will have a good effect on my life. Okay. So just notice that it is the recipe also, it's the menu and the recipe. Taking that action that you just wrote down, and what's the word? I'm stumbling on the word. In theory, is supposed to get you a result you want. If it's not, get curious about it. Okay. Leslie M is partying with us tomorrow, Carla Jane. I do believe it. And everybody else is invited too. Seriously, all you need to do is buy your ticket and show up. Okay. So what was I thinking? Here's something. No, seriously. Okay, because Wendy isn't a fan of lists and post-its, but for the larger stuff going on, getting the house stuck out. Oh, we had to do that. Had to do a lot of prep before the guys came to work on the house. Yeah, so you having room to do that. Here is a concept I want to share with you guys. Okay, does anybody mind if I go into like teacher mode for like 4 minutes? Because I don't know why I picked 4. Because I think this will really help you when we're talking about different ways to think about lists and stuff. Okay. If I had a book, this might be in it, but now you're learning it live and nobody else is learning this but you. If I were to write a book, these are the notes I would go. Yes, be the professor. Okay, I'm going to profess something to you, but let me find the visual. Let me see where I have it here. It's around here somewhere. If I knew I was going to do this. No, I've done that. This is kind of fun. I will share with you guys. These are things that I have written down in the past that I believe would help me with my coaching. And they have, and I can see because I'm working backwards that yes, okay, here we go. Found it. Okay. And I just keep on adding to it, but it's nice to review what I wrote down to see what I've implemented. So oftentimes, okay, if you want to play the home version of the game, just do this. I'm going to get a piece of paper. I'm trying to use up this orange paper. I bought a ream of it. Oh my God, I'm going to be 90 years old before it's done. So this is kind of my scrap paper. Usually I talk about folding your paper in half and creating columns, right? Because you have a column right here, a column A, column B. And then the neat thing is about folding is you can also use the back of the page and you have a column there. What I want you to think of is I want you to fold your paper in half, and this probably wouldn't work with something in a notebook, but you could easily just draw like four 2 lines to make 4 cubes, okay? So what I want you to think of is this. I got to look and how to do it. We often know how to make a to-do list, and then we also have like a wish list, like what I want. And your to-do list should be connected to your wish list. So I ask you to do this. Okay. So we've got, let's say, this is going to be your to-do list. So on the upper left-hand corner, you write down something you're familiar with, your to-do list. Okay. So you write your to-dos right here, right? So here, so we're just doing this. So we've got 4 cubes. Okay. And in the upper left-hand one, you're just going to write your to-do list. So write that thing that says to-do list. And this is something you're familiar with doing. Upper left is to-do list. Yep. This is something you're used to doing. So let's even use that. So in that upper corner, write 3 things that you have kind of on your mental to-do list for this weekend. Just 3 things. Okay. I'll play along at home. Literally, they should be just some things off the top of your head. Don't overthink it. And there's no wrong answers. Okay. So you've got 3 things that you want to do this weekend. What I want you to start to think of, though, is over here, I want you to think of kind of your wish list. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay. It's fine. It's fine, Carla Jane, and I love it. 3 things I want to do this weekend. And the neat thing is this video will be recorded and uploaded. Okay. Over here, though, I want you to think of, now I called it here, your wish list. Because we often say, I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl with a phone. I would call her, right? I wish I were an Oscar Mayer wiener. I wish I were a fish, right? There are things you wish you had in your life. So you've got your wish list right here, right? But let's do this. Okay. So there's something you wish you had in your life. The thing you're doing, yes, right top directly across is a wish list. Directly across from the very first thing you wrote down, what is that going to get you in your life? Now, I've done this before, and actually I did this. So I have on my to-do list, on the one that I made up before, was like to-do list, declutter, go for a walk, and schedule TikTok lives. You guys, this is crazy. I don't remember. There's no date on this, but it was, as you could see, I had to flip through. I'm not shitting you when I say these are the same things that I wrote down on this book. So it must have, there's something there, right? When I declutter, when I say I want to declutter, what's the result? What's the result I want? I want an easier life. Like I'm decluttering because I want, a comfortable home where I can breathe. I wish I had a comfortable home where I can breathe. Okay. Go for a walk. What does that give me? If I go for a walk, makes me feel good in my body. I wish I felt good in my body. I also know I'm going to go for a walk with a friend and then feel connected. And then schedule TikTok lives. And then that my wish was be a successful coach. Now this, I'm just trying to give you the association between what you're doing and why you're doing it. What is the result that you're getting? to make that association. On the flip side, and I know this is going by really quickly, and this is good that it's recorded. I want you to do the same thing, but I want you to flip it and start with the wish list. You can do this too. You could start down here with your wish list, right? So this is kind of like, what's the result of those things? But maybe you're like, wait, what? But write down 3 things you wish you had in your life. Okay? So down here, I don't know if here, I'll hold it up here so like you could see. So, and I'll write this down too. So declutter, that says declutter party, comfortable. I want to be comfortable in home. I want to be comfortable. I just want to be comfortable in my bod. What's the last thing I wrote down? Walk with, oh yeah, actually both of them was walk with Alyssa and connected. It works in the opposite direction too. And you know how much I love opposites. Okay. So maybe instead of starting with your to-do list, let's start with your wish list and work backwards. Okay. So what are 3 things kind of on your wish list that you kind of wish you had in your life or you felt a certain way? Let's say wish list. I'm like, more money. I don't know. It's usually people put that. Strong body. And I would say awesome life. I'm just going to write down awesome life. Okay. Okay. So write down 3 things you wish you had and just put it under there. So we got, right? And then say to yourself, if this is my destination, if I want more money, what is something I could do today to get more money? So what I'm just saying, so I could, reach out to a client. I could, remind you guys that I, do paid coaching and encourage you to sign up for a consultation and maybe talk about the results of being decluttered and how it's so worth your money to invest in it, because it's may seem like a lot of money now, but it is something that is going to revolutionize your life for decades to come. So it's really pennies on the dollar. Something like that. Strong body. Maybe I, schedule, I, lift those weights, lift weights in living room. Awesome life. I don't know. Go have fun. Now I know that there we go. Pay down debt to free up cash for savings or other bills. Yeah. So notice, if you want more money, Wendy is offering pay down debt to free up cash for savings. Right. So then you can say, to do, what can I do this weekend to help me pay down some of my debt? What can I do this weekend to make some money? What can I do if I want a comfortable home? What could I do? Oh, I don't know. I could sign up for the declutter party. If I want to feel comfortable in my body, what could I do this weekend? Oh, I could do some yoga. I want you to start to notice how I hope the stuff, and I'll just hold this here while you think about it. I hope the to-dos on your to-do list directly correlate to something you want in your life. Let me repeat that, because this was only like in the past year I thought about this. When I say I have to do this, it's on my to-do list. Instead of dreading what's on your list, ideally, you are getting something good out of what you're doing. You're getting a stronger body, you're getting a cleaner house, you have a better understanding, like you feel good because you know where stuff is. You're having adventures that you can share with people. So when you're telling stories to future generations, you can be an inspiration, much like your grandmother playing the auto harp. So instead of dreading your to-do list really is a map to get you to where you want to go. Yeah. Now, Wendy is saying when the to-do list leads to happiness, to do would be happy. And I'm going to make a little smiley. Yeah, to do. You know what I wish? I want to be happy. Okay? Right. Wendy's saying when the to-do list leads to the happiness, it isn't a chore so much as a task or even a task. That word has a smidge of work. How about just a step? It is a step I am taking towards happiness. This gets me one step closer to happiness. Less less weight on your spirit. Yeah, what can I do now that will lighten my weight and lift my spirit? Even if it's seems like drudgery, because if you to me anyway, I don't know about you, but I if I don't see the value in what I'm doing, if I'm not bought into the result, I will not participate in the process. I will half-ass it. Yeah, and Wendy says, I like step. I like step, me too, because it works with that whole journey thing. And I am hypersensitive to words that might have even whiff, a whiff of cool whip, a whiff of obligation, like a task or a chore. I have to do it. If you don't believe in what you're doing, now even that, even if you don't see a reason to do it, why the hell do it? Does the reason connect up with something that's important to me? Does it touch my heart? So I see a bunch of 100s. So that's somebody's digging what I'm doing. So thank you. So I just offered you to this. So this weekend, even when you make your to-do list on one side, what wish is it getting you one step closer to? If you don't know, then start with your wishes. What is something you wish for? And then back into it. What's something you could do this weekend to get you one step closer to heaven? Won't stop there. I think that's a Partridge Family. One step closer to heaven, right? One step closer to what you want. Back into it. Boop, 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 boop. Say, if I want more money, what could I do today to get more money? If you want a clean home, what could you do this weekend to get you one step closer? And then suddenly there there's reason, there's context, there's buy-in. Okay? So this is like an advanced class in to-do list making, but to me, it gives it gravity. Yes, you can totally rewatch this, Carla. Okay. So I don't even know what we want to call this. The to-do list. I will when I upload this, where's my list? Look at me right now. Oh, it's today's. Okay. I'm going to call this one the to do equals and then wish list episode. So you'll be able to find it. Does that sound good? Episode. I can edit it when it's uploaded. It will be on the June declutter the June what do you call that thing? The collection there. Playlist. Okay? Yeah. It's okay, Carla. We can also work on it tomorrow and in coaching, and I'm happy to do like just a recording of it. But this is just a riff on this. What I want to say is just getting an association between what you're doing and why are you doing it. And the why you're doing it, is it something you want to do or feel or have? I hope so. Because if it doesn't get you something, why the F are you doing it? And I love to just ask yourself, wait, why am I doing this? And instead of thinking of it as a chore, because I have to do my chores, think of the benefit you get. I have to do the laundry. Ooh, I get the widest selection of clean clothing for me to choose to wear. When I do my laundry, it means I have the most clean clothes available to me. So I get to choose whatever I want to wear, and it's going to be clean and available to me. Same thing with dishes. I have to do the dishes. I'm going to have to do the dishes for the rest of my life. Dishes are never done. Well, how does that make you feel while you're doing the dishes? How about not feeling anything at all, except I'm just doing them? But when I do them, I love having clean dishes to choose from. I love having clean dishes, clean glasses to choose from, so that when my friend drop by unexpectedly, I can pour the lemonade into the glass that I love, that one of my favorite glasses. Making connections. Yeah, it takes the stress away and it provides context, personal context. And I will say this, if you have something on your list that you are like, I don't know why the F I'm doing this, don't do it. or pay attention to what the answer is. Okay. Oh, Carla Jane. No, 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 no. There we go. Carla said, so I want to calm down the fear that Carla had. She says, I had to call about a prescription before 12. Totally get that. I had 6 minutes. I'm glad you stopped and did this. This is why these are recorded. Okay. That's why these are recorded. She panicked, nervous system panic, and felt like I missed the study guide for the final. No, no, that's not how I coach. I don't coach with screw you, you lost it. You should have paid attention to me and figured out something else because it's really important. Nope. It's not how we work here. We play. We record things so you can go listen to it again. And honestly, one of the great things about the recordings that I would love if it were me watching them is the ability to stop, hammer time, stop the recording, rewind it, listen again. Maybe there's a way you can turn on the closed captioning because you are a visual learner as well as an audio learner. So there are many benefits to the recordings. And they're there for free for you to access. Okay. So please, when you are panicky, that you're not in a good position to do or learn anything. No reason to panic here. I'm taking care of my people. I know what it's like to be freaked out about stuff, so I try to eliminate that everywhere possible. This is recorded. I'm going to name it something so you know what it is. And you can watch it at your leisure. You did not miss anything. You can learn at your pace. Okay? Yeah. And yes, because a lot of things, I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you that makes sense to me, but the first time you hear it, you're like, wait, what? Wait, what? I'm still catching up on the thing she said 5 minutes ago, and she's already doing this. Whoa. It's okay. It's recorded and you can pause. Like if I pause, there's going to be a lot of dead air here, but you can pause it. Be like, wait, what did she say? Back it up. What did that look like? Right. Okay. Wendy says, and we got a few minutes left. Wendy says, future Wendy loves when present Wendy does the steps to make her life easier. I love that, Wendy. Yeah. And guess what? Past Wendy is so excited that future Wendy is doing this because past Wendy would have loved to be able to do things differently. She just didn't know what to do. But now she's folding a paper in half. Uh-huh. Yeah. And Wendy says, when I don't feel like doing something, I remind myself that my future self will be thankful if I do it now, that I have the time to do it. Yeah. LO says being able to pause YouTubes that you post is so great to really process in my head. And that's what I want you to do is process it, absorb it, have it resonate, make it click. If something's just on the surface, it's not going to stick, but having it absorb can help you learn something. Don said, I listened to past recordings yesterday when I painted. Notice you're listening, and when you repeat something, it can absorb. Carla Jane is a big time note taker, and I'm a big time note taker too. But the best thing about note taking, this is how I got some A's in my classes. And it was, I don't even know how I came up with this process when I was in college. I would take my notes messy in class, and then I would rewrite the notes. I would copy my notes over into basically one of those composition books into a good book. So I would review them in a timely manner so I could say, what was I writing there? Oh, that's right. And he was able to organize and clarify and click. And then I'd be like, wait, I don't get this. So maybe I'd ask a question. I probably wouldn't have asked a question. I was wicked shy. I barely spoke up. Okay. But yeah. Now, yeah, Carla Jane wants to pinch past Carla. Carla Jane, love past Carla. Everybody. This is the thought I would love to sign off with. Okay. Love every single version of yourself, every single iteration of yourself. Love yourself. You may feel like you want to pinch her now, but love on her. Past you was doing the best she could with the skills she had. She did good, and she was only given an incomplete toolkit. So the neat thing is you're taking care of past Carla now by getting some new tools in your toolkit so you can do things differently. So all three Carlas, all three Beths, all three Wendy's, past Beth, present Beth, and future Beth are moving forward together. Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, backseat driver, co pilot, driver. We are all moving together. Past, present, and future you is moving forward together in a way that feels good, in a direction you want to go to. Okay. Now, speaking of what you want to get done this weekend, I literally just got a text from my friend who wants to go for a walk on Sunday. Much like I said, I feel a connection to somebody I look forward to meeting with. So I'm going to sign off right now, but I feel a connection to you guys too. So if you want to show up for the decluttering parties, again, we have one tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern. There's one on 9 at 9 Eastern on Monday. There will be some in July, and also under the umbrella of Connection. If you're interested in being part of like the Pen Pal Club, send me the contact info you would be willing to and interested in sharing with other people who are willing to get in touch, and I will find a way in July to make that happen that feels good. Okay. But I'm going to sign off now because I got plans for the afternoon, much like I got plans for the weekend. I'm going to have some fun and get some stuff done, and I'm going to enjoy doing it. Okay. So I hope this was helpful for you, and you rock all versions of yourself. All right. Bye.